Good evening, class. My name is Brenda, and today I'm going to discuss behavioral data collection and analysis, which enables teachers to identify patterns, triggers, and outcomes of student behavior. By understanding these elements, and educators can implement targeted strategies to prevent misbehavior, reinforce positive actions, and address specific needs. For instance, tracking data might reveal that a student exhibits frustration during target transition, prompting teachers to implement a visual schedule or calming techniques. Now, there are three different methods of documenting and organizing observed behavioral data, uh, with one being a technology tool. Anecdotal records is one that benefits. It provides detailed context related narratives of student behavior, helping teacher understand why behind actions. An example is just observing and recording a student's reaction during group activities that can highlight social interaction challenges. Then there's behavioral charts, which is a visual tool for identifying patterns and trend over time, especially for monitoring specific behaviors. And that's a frequency chart documenting instances of shouting out in class may show improvement after implementing a classroom management intervention. And as far as the technology tools that I mentioned earlier, just like Class Dojo, Behavior Snap, those are streamlined data entry and analysis while allowing real time updates for teachers and families. Now, as far as identifying what might influence or hinder accurate behavioral data collection, it could be teachers' bias or personal perception may skew the interpretation of behaviors. Time constraints, high demands can make consistent data collection challenging. Environmental variables, like factors like noise or classroom dynamics, might interfere with observations and student awareness. Student may also alter their behavior when they know they are being observed. So those are some of the things that can hinder accurate behavioral data collections. Now, one of the things is that I can explain the importance of collaborating with families. I find that collaborating with families is essential to gain a holistic understanding of a child's behavior across settings. Like families provide insight into the child's behavior, home environment, routines, and potential stressors. For example, I had a student that would not sit um, when he comes to class. He would stand by the door, and this was happening so often. So I mentioned it to the mom and the his parents, and she told me that he has two siblings, and usually they go away for the weekend with their dad because it's a they've separated or they're in the process of finalizing their divorce. So the two daughters would go, the two sisters, I'm sorry, would go with the dad, and he'll stand by. And so my student would stand by the door or by the window, while his siblings are off. And I mean, it was like he was anticipating when they're going to be coming back. So I kind of understood a little bit more as to why the child was standing there, as if he's looking for someone, though the students does not his siblings do not come to the same school as he does. uh, but it gave me an insight into how to better help him through his day instead of him wasting his whole day standing by the door. Now, as far as being able to work out with families or create a common behavioral goal for young children in both school and home environment, We establish shared goals. Teachers and families can hold collaborative meeting to discuss behavioral data and set aligned objectives. A teacher and parents can agree to focus on improving self-regulation skills both at school and at home by using consistent language and reinforcing strategies like take a deep breath, just giving, those reminders. We can also look at how collection of data would differ between the birth to preschool environment, and the difference in behavioral collection data uh, for K through third grade. This data collection becomes more structured using tools like behavior charts, rubric, and technologies to track behavior tied to academic and social expectations. That's for the K through third grade. Now, as far as comparing the data of behavioral data for children with and without exceptionalities, behavioral data collection for children with and without exceptionalities requires individualized approaches such as functional behavior assessments, that's the FBAs, and the BIPs, which is the behavior intervention plans. For example, a student with ADHD might need collection data around focus and self-regulated using similar or smaller observation windows, whereas a child without exceptionalities, their general behavior tracking typically involves broader patterns and group level observation. Now, in conclusion, the all cases behavioral data collection and collaboration with families are fundamental to fostering positive, inclusive classroom environment that supports every child's development.